Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all, breaking news for the WMMA world. It's official, y'all, for November 6th, UFC 268, the co-main event. Two-time strawweight champion Rose Namajunas is going to run it back against the former strawweight champion Zhang Weili in a highly anticipated rematch for a lot of Rose and Zhang Weili fans. You know, I know y'all been wanting to see this fight. Of course, this ain't the fight I wanted to see, which I'll talk about here at the end of the video. But yeah, man, it's going down. It's the co-main event to Kamaru Usman and Kobe Covington too. You know, another sequel. So we got a pair of running backs. You know, we got a pair of rematches for this UFC 268 card. And yeah, it's going down. We got a chance for these fighters to redeem themselves. The question is, will they? As y'all know, Rose Namajunas, the first time around for UFC 261 back on April 24th. Rose, she captured the title for a second time. You know, the first round KO over Zhang Weili via head kick. You know, which first time around the fight, to me, it was a 50-50 fight. You know, I was going with Zhang Weili. I picked Zhang Weili just because of her momentum, you know, all of her attributes that I was, you know, taking account for, you know, making my prediction. But I also said anything could happen. You know, I definitely said it was a 50-50 fight. Anything could happen, and anything did happen. You know, Rose Namajunas, they studied Zhang Weili to a T, and they got the victory. They got a first-round KO via technique and via exposing weakness. You know, I can't say it was luck, can't say it was a fluke. It was a solid, legit knockout. You know, so from there, I said it's time for Zhang Weili to go back to the drawing board, you know, work out some things mentally and physically, you know, go back and refine and, you know, just kind of review, like she said they needed to do in the documentary, right? And I expected it to be, you know, until 2022, in my honest opinion. You know, I said, hey, maybe they need to just go back and kind of take another fight and, you know, study Rose a little bit, study themselves a little bit, and kind of go from there. But, you know, what, 7 months now, almost, well, about 7 months, but 6 months later, they're gonna go back out. They're gonna go back at it again. You know, she's gonna go back in there and take on Rose, which, you know, my opinion, I don't think it's a good idea. You know, me personally, just thinking of the fighter, I think it would have been good for her to take another fight. You know, I just think that, you know, Zhang Weili, from the talk, maybe her energy's a little bit off. You know, everything from the documentaries I talked about a few weeks ago. You know, it just kind of sounded like she was maybe not ready to go back into the bright lights again, because there was just so many distractions, you know, so many excuses being made here. You know, and I just have to call it like it is, no matter who it is. You know, I've said this about so many great champions. When you make excuses, it doesn't sit well with me. You know, it doesn't sit well with me. I just take it as a night that you were off and the better person won. You know, the better fighter won that night. You know, I think Zhang Weili, using everything from, you know, the crowd to Chris Weidman's leg breaking. I think all of that are things that shouldn't be bothering or shouldn't affect a real legit champion. You know what I mean? You know, I think that's stuff that shouldn't affect her. So if she's going into this fight again, you know, she has to change that energy. She has to change that tone and make sure she's all about herself. She has to make sure this is about self-preservation, kind of like Valentina Shevchenko. You know, Valentina Shevchenko thinks self-preservation. It's about her. It's about what she wants. It's about her legacy, you know, which also factors in her technique and her style, which is why I talk about Rose's style here. We'll talk about it tonight as well in the live stream, but thinking this way mentally, as far as, you know, your self-preservation and thinking about you, it's going to help your style as well. It's going to help you in the octagon, which leads me to defense. You know, Zhang Weili needs to be a fighter thinking about defense this time around. You know, not being a crowd pleaser, not being thinking of fight of the night, not being one of those type of fighters. You have to think for yourself, you know, and I think that's something that she has to change for this fight, you know. But when it comes down to it for Rose, I think Rose is still doing the same thing. You know, they studied and they're going to study now, and they're going to study the possibilities. You know, Rose Namajunas is a smart fighter. You can't knock that. You know, she's definitely a fighter that's going to go in there and make sure she's covered all her bases. You know, she's been working on her grappling. She's been hitting the mat. She's been posting this stuff up, working on her wrestling. She's working with one of the best wrestlers in the game with Kamaru Usman. So, you know, she's definitely covering everything. So it's going to be a dangerous fight. And my thoughts now, it could still go Zhang Weili's way, depending on, you know, what type of fire she has. But I'm going to say it's about 55-45 for right now, you know, from what I'm seeing. You know, if the talk changes and Zhang Weili, you know, she seems to kind of block everything out and, you know, just accepts what happened, it could go back to being 50-50. But we teetering now at 55-45, you know, so for Rose. for Rose now, you know, because Rose has that mental edge now. She definitely has that mental edge. Stopping somebody in the first round gives you a big mental edge over a fighter. I remember Antonio Tarver and the, you know, got any excuses tonight, Roy, you know, and then stopping him in the second round. You know, from there, it was just hard to get that guy's number back, you know, no matter what you do for Roy. You know, so I could see the same thing happening here for Zhang Weili, you know, especially with all these excuses that came in. I was just like, wow, why don't they just say, look, it's my defense. I got to go back and work. Rose was that good. And even speaking of that, like, she could have just said that. Like, now she's saying, like, Rose Namajunas is a god. You know what I mean? And, like, saying somebody's a god, to me, I take that as offense because it's like nobody on earth is God. Rose is anything but perfect. You know what I mean? She's shown that in the past. And nobody's perfect. You know, so I think that term to use for somebody like Rose is just a little, you know, out of, you know, it's a little out of line. Just give that person their credit for the fighter they are and kind of move from there. So you can say they're this good, but I can be better. That's what it all comes down to, you know. So my thoughts though on this rematch, I'm gonna watch it, of course. And did I know it would happen? Of course. You know, of course. You know, some people keep on talking about, oh, I told you. You didn't tell me nothing. I already knew. You know, on my channel, I talk about the best fights that happen. That's what it comes down to for me. I'm like, yo, Carla needs to get the rematch, right? Saying Carla needs to get the rematch and saying it's signed are two different things. Saying she's going to get it and saying she needs to get it are two different things. You know, that's what a lot of people don't understand. You know, that's why, you know, I try to break it down for casual fans. Like, you know, when I say Carla deserves the rematch and she needs to get it and it should happen, I'm speaking it into existence and I'm just speaking it real because I'm going by accomplishments and what that person should get, you know, what they deserve, you know. But I also know money that it's just like when I place bets and things like that, you know. I'm saying, like, Carla getting it would be a blessing, you know, because we have another good fight that makes sense. But Zhang Weili getting it, oh yeah, I know that's going to happen because money talks, you know. Money talks, you know. Wasn't born yesterday. So yeah, man, it's going down. But like I said, we'll talk more tonight on all these little points I'm, you know, kind of got running through my head right now. Just kind of thinking about what kind of approach Rose is going to take. Can Rose just pick right back up in round one, like, you know, round one from April 24th, and just say, all right, let's go ahead and piece her up once again? You know, will she get into that rhythm and just start boxing Zhang Weili? You know, will Zhang Weili be gun shy, or will Zhang Weili close that distance early and try to get the fight to the ground? You know, will she be a grinder for 5 rounds? You know, will she be able to do any of that? You know, so it's just one of those things, man, you know, because you have to think sometimes whenever somebody throws your, like, you know, one of my partners used to say, when somebody throws your kung fu off, it kind of takes away from your assertiveness. It takes away from your ability to be confident in what you can do. You know what I mean? It's like, well, he compared it to, again, the Roy Jones and Antonio Tarver fight when we used to talk boxing before. Like when we were talking about the second round knockout of Roy in the rematch, you know, one of the things he said was when he saw him in that rubber match, the third fight with Roy, it was like Roy still could probably outbox Tarver, but he didn't want to commit. Like he never wanted to commit or engage. That's why he wound up losing. You know, that's why he wound up losing again to Tarver, because he didn't want to take that chance, and it was like he didn't want to get knocked out again. So his body wouldn't fully commit to the punches and the speed that he used to have. You know, that's why his kung fu is kind of broke, like we used to say. So we'll see if Zhang Weili's kung fu is broke here. You know, hopefully it's not, because I do want a good fight. You know, Carla Esparza not getting it or not, Carla Esparza getting it or not, I just want a good fight. And this still is a legit fight. It'll still go down as a good fight on, it'll still go down as a legacy fight on both of their resumes. You know, especially if Rose wins again, she has to get full credit for it. If Zhang Weili wins, of course she gets full credit for it, because she's going to be redeeming herself, right? So yeah, guys, it's going down. Also on the card, which I'll talk about in another video, you know, is Germaine de Randamie and Irene Aldana, Striker's Paradise, right? Striker's Paradise. We got another solid hand, another hand fight right there. You know, some more hands being thrown. You know, I like this. I like what they're doing here. This was a fight that I kind of called for as well. I was like, next for Irene Aldana, give her GDR. You know, she won that title shot after Juliana Pena. Hey, put her in there with GDR. You know, let's see the hands fly, man. Striker's Paradise, baby. So yeah, man. Let me know, guys, in the comment section what y'all think of this rematch. I personally, like I said, final thoughts. I'm going to watch it. I'll take it because it's still going to be a good fight. You know, we still got 2 pound for pound top fighters here, but one of them needs to really make sure that they're on their 100 here or close to it, which is Zhang Weili. I still would prefer Carla Esparza get it. You know, shout out to Carla. I mean, hey, you know, a lot of people are kind of, you know, up in an uproar about it. They're like, man, why didn't Carla get it? You know, it made sense, right? So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.